At the age of 14, I started dabbling with drugs and partying, and kind of, I think, just looking for that feeling of relief coming from a dysfunctional family and household. I think I just earned for some kind of just like relief within myself of peace. And then as soon as I started partying and just going to high school parties, didn't realize that's what I was looking for and searching for. But now at an older age and going through what I've gone through, I could see that feeling of numbness is what kind of started my addiction. At the age of 15, my parents had sent me away to Laverton, Utah, where I stayed there for 18 months without seeing my family and did boarding school there. So immediately I was institutionalized and taken away from the outside world. I graduated high school and then went on to going to college. I wanted to work with kids. Then I later on changed my mind and decided to do cosmetology school, where I completed it and became a cosmetologist. All throughout doing this, I was drinking and doing drugs, but I was able to function and work and do that. After college, I then was in an unhealthy relationship, which led me to becoming homeless. I spent 5 years on the streets. I didn't want to be a burden on my family, on my parents, on my siblings. You know, I have struggled with addiction my whole life, and it was constantly, you know, Gina's going to rehab, or Gina needs treatment. Heroin and meth were my drugs of choice. I lost everything. I was living out of storage units in cardboard boxes on the side of the street, bouncing back and forth from different dope houses. 2 years into me living on the streets, my parents wanted to help me. They just didn't know how to. And with doing their research, they learned they could petition me. I was admitted to Desert Vista, so I spent some time in Valleywise Health and Behavioral Center. I remember being there and feeling, oh my God, I'm just using drugs. All my rights are taken away. I can't even go outside. And I remember thinking, like, one day I'm gonna be on the outside or the inside of here. Like, this is not gonna be my life. I'm not gonna choose. But you have an addiction. I had an addiction. I couldn't just quit like that. I was released and spent another 2 years on the streets, and then I got pregnant, and that's when I realized it wasn't about me anymore. I continued to use up till 7 months, and then I gave birth to my oldest daughter. And by the grace of God, the Lord gave me a second chance, and I was able to bring her home. I was in treatment. I went through a program called Center for Hope, and went through the program. I had nothing but a backpack to my name when I gave birth. Not a penny, nothing, and this program saved my life. They gave me a roof over my head, daily programs, therapy, psychiatric, all the stuff that I needed to put in my toolbox so I could utilize it, so I could be the best mom, so I could find myself, so I could just get back on my feet. As weird as this sounds, it was hard for me to make that transition from the streets to having a roof over my head again. I slept on the floor of the rehab for the first few months. I wasn't used to sleeping in a bed. There was a guilt of I had a roof over my head and was able to take a shower, eat a hot meal, and still have people I knew on the streets. But again, I had my beautiful daughter, and I made a promise the day I gave birth that I would provide stability and love, and that I wouldn't go back, and I would do everything that I can to make sure she had a safe, stable environment. Shasta Jackson gave me an opportunity to work at the First Episode Center. I immediately connected to the members, to the staff at the First Episode Center, and realized that this is the place I need to be. Working with people who were struggling with psychosis, schizophrenia, addiction, I was able to relate with them immediately. I was able to understand what the parents were going through and connect it with them, and I wanted to be of service and be there And so I have been working at the First Episode Center for 6 years, providing support to members and their families, and it is the best. I have a family of 6 now. I have 3 girls, 9, 5, and 4, and we just had our son the day before Halloween. So we are a family of 6. It's a full house. It's so crazy to think like 10 years ago, okay, wow, recovery's been really good to me. It has not been easy. It is hard. It is work. Then you have blessings. You know, I wake up and I have little ones to feed. I have a bed. I'm gonna get teary-eyed. A roof over my head. Relationships, healthy relationships, a great job, great supporters. My bosses are so good and understanding. Still, when I struggle, they give me the support and time that I need to heal. I feel blessed. I feel really blessed right now.